The woman, surrounded by purple shadowy tendrils, Seo asks her, "Is that all you have to say?" Trying to buy some time, questions him. "Is it true that you're the only hero from equality who's alive?" He responds, "That's right." "I see," escapes her lips as she then asks, "So it means that Tomi is dead as well, a comrade of Seo, who died while fighting alongside him." Seo pauses, as he didn't want to talk on that topic, but the woman's voice cuts through. "Ha ha! I see. So, she's dead now. That's why I told her not to be a hero. My little sister is such a fool." She adds asking, "By the way, do other heroes know about how you killed people even while you're part of equality?" She retorts, "You know how hard Lausa worked to change the industry for heroes, right? But thanks to you, it is back to square one," he replies, as he watches her in silence. "Your last will is quite long. The industry of heroes isn't normal." The woman, Tomoki, reflects on her past. "I realized this when Tomoki became a hero, as just for the sake of eliminating villains, as a woman screams for help, a villain took a hostage, as one hero stood facing them, villain warns the hero that if he move, as the woman cries in fear, suddenly a slash came from nowhere, hero swung his sword in a quick movement, slicing the villain, but in his slash the hostage woman also got slashed, as the blood dripped from both of their mouths, as the hero laughs completing his mission of killing the villain." The story returns to Tomoki. Tomoki became a hero for a simple reason. A memory shows a younger Tomi, looking up at her sister with adoration, saying, "Sis, you always help me. It's as if you are my hero. You're so amazing." Tomi didn't possess any ability, so she depended a lot on her elder sister who had super ability. But Tomoki was, as Tomi watches her in confusion, as Tomoki smiles and says, "Your sis is quite amazing, right?" It was strange in some way. As a hero, Tomoki, she felt superior and prideful, while a rescued citizen thanks her. Thank you for saving me." However, instead of having pride for it, as the civilian watches her in shock, Tomoki's twisted logic is revealed. Whenever she saves people, she felt a strange excitement and superior. The transformation continues. Just like that, Tomoki, who was carrying down the duty as a hero, killed a villain for the first time during her mission. This act, her first murder, as she was shocked to see someone die in front of her, but also brought forth a terrifying joy on her face with hands covering it reads, she felt such feeling of superiority for the first time in her life. A deranged expression fills her face as she thinks, "I never knew killing someone could feel so ecstatic." The murderous spree didn't stop there. Villain, citizens, hero. She killed everyone regardless of their identity. Her pleasure intensified as, among them all, Tomoki enjoyed murdering her colleagues who were weaker than her. As she corners one of her comrades, Man shows terrified face while Tomoki still feels excited, expressing betrayal, embarrassment, and that expression as they plead, "Please save me." These reactions drove Tomoki insane, smiles on the face of the man crying for help. However, one cannot hide a secret forever. Tomi, her younger sister, started to suspect her sister who returns home late at night, covered with the scent of blood. So she decided to tail behind her sister. Tomi gets shocked to see the scene in front of her eyes. The chilling truth was revealed. And then she witnessed her own sister murdering someone. Tomi's horrified whisper, "Sis? Tomi, didn't I warn you to never leave the house this late?" Now she accepts the present, as she holds the man. Tomoki then chillingly offers, "Wanna join me?" With the same excited look on her face with blood all over her, to which Tomi gasps, "What?" Not able to believe, Tomoki's response is final. "If you don't want to, then I will do it alone." As she goes for the final blow to the man, as Tomi's desperate plea of, "Don't," a purple light emerged from her, catching her attention, and the next movement Tomoki's hand was binded by the chains. This was the awakening of Tomi's ability, as well as her first work. Tomi cries to do that to her own sister, whom she saw as her hero, and so, after that Tomi became a hero and she chased after her elder sister who had turned into a villain. In future, Tomoki bound by her chains, smiling. As Tomi, now a hero, declares to her sister, "You are under arrest." Tomoki, though bound, responds with a twisted smile, "Now you don't even call me your sis? So your ability got even stronger. That's why I pity you more." She then boasts, "I pity everyone who doesn't have physical abilities. Don't you know how amazing it feels to destroy someone by yourself from a long distance?" Her eyes gleam with a deranged pleasure. But Tomi in anger replies with, "I never had a sister like you." Tomoki's mask of nonchalance flickers, a shadow of pain crossing her face as she whispers, "Tomi." Tomoki asks, "Did she die painlessly?" The name Tomi hangs heavy in the air. A flashback reveals the brutal truth. When she died while battling with Huang Sung-hwan, Tomi's bloodied face and her anguished cries. "It hurts, save me." As she cries laying down on the ground, counting her last moments, the officer, haunted by the memory, states, "She died while searching for you." A silence follows before she mutters, "Maybe I shouldn't have asked that." Suddenly, a resonant transformation echoes through the prison. Tomoki, now in her full power mode, her expression a mix of annoyance and malevolence, states, "It just ruined my mood." The fight commences. As she dashes forward leaving dust behind, Seo watches her coming for him, as she suddenly appear in front of him hitting him in chest, which she thought, but in reality she was left in shock, as the person who she hit was a phantom of Seo, leaving his energy behind. Now Seo enraged comes from behind her, while she could not even react to his speed. Still she tries to swing back at him, but was stopped by him in between, with a brutal kick on her ribs, sent her flying, crashing on the wall. Dust flew all over the room from the wall destruction, as Seo stands facing the direction of the smoke, where he sent her. He waits on the same spot as he was waiting for her, watching the smoke in silence. She then suddenly appears from the smoke to attack him again, as he last chance, but Seo was already ready for her, punches her in her stomach with a devastating force, as she spits blood from her mouth. Not even able to handle one punch of his, she kneels in pain, as her transformation starts to fade, now all skinny and beaten. Watches Seo with anger. Back with Seo, he confronts Tomoki. "Even though I'm executing you by law, it doesn't feel good to kill the family of my colleague." Tomoki, with a desperate blood-stained grin, pleads, "If so, then, can you please spare me?" Her last way of survival, plead him desperately, as she bowed down, asking him that, did he not made any promise with his comrades, to which he replies, "He is no a hero anymore, but still, please, save me." The officer, unmoved by her pleas, asks, "Doesn't your expression right now ring any bell to you?" The scene of the innocent she killed, begging her exactly same as she was begging. "Then what did you do then?" So ask her, looking down on her, as she finally understood how they all felt. So charges his fist with his red energy, killing her in one punch, and a huge sound. The sound of my fight with Seo Kang-yu echoed all around the prison. Another hero hears that sound, exclaiming, "Did you hear it? That bam sound just now. That must be a Seo Kang-yu, right? Ah, what should I do?" As Sinka's subordinates watches her, as she heart fluttered from the sound of Seo fighting someone. While others, like a terrified uniformed woman, are overwhelmed. Yet for someone, main villain wearing the prison guard cap, called his name out loud. It expanded their expectation. A shadowy figure with glowing eyes declares, "I can't wait now." Another, with a sinister grin, announces, "I am going up right away," as he was suddenly struck by a force from his side, sending him flying to the wall. His hat still floats in air, as he was surprised to see that attack, sitting in shock, as the Vochi asks him, "Kid, are you bored?" One other figure now approached him slowly. It was revealed to be an elderly man who was also a prisoner in the 5th floor, names Kingston. Smiling asks him should he play with him. Main villain wears his hat back on, while stating him as scary grandpa. As Kingston laughs menacingly, he was the first ever prisoner in the prison. "Sir!" shouted 2 guards, their faces contorted in terror. "What's going on?" asked the woman behind them, head of the prison. One guard voice strained as he added, "At the 5th basement floor right now." Kingston and Huang met, they stated. The woman was not shocked, rather she was happy for their meeting, as she explains that one of them was going to die there, while she personally wanted Kingston to win. As for her judgment, he was not as dangerous than Huang, as they both faced each other in prison. The blonde-haired director looked on little annoyed to see someone, as she noticed. There was a third person in the room. A mysterious young woman with light-colored hair and striking blue eyes appeared. Why is that woman with him? Now the main confrontation is shown, as Huang asks Kingston, was he going to play with him, which he agrees smiling. But Huang, uninterested, says that he doesn't want to fight him, looking down on him. Kingston, little bit angry, says, "But Grandpa wants to play with you?" The past of the Kingston is told. He's the first prisoner of the Lucullus prison, oldest long-term prisoner. Unlike the prisoners on 4th and 5th basement floors that killed tens of millions of people, he only killed 3 people. His younger self standing in the rain, the first person to die was the worst and strongest villain at the time, Caracas. The second and third who died were the best hero of the time, Clark and Hilo. He suddenly appeared out of the nowhere and killed the 3 strongest of that time, confidently declaring, "I killed everyone who was called invincible. Am I invincible now?" Now shown he was surrounded by the cops, all bloodied bored, he let himself be caught by the government. He was the best in terms of risk, but he surrendered only after killing a few people. He was able to avoid execution for 30 years. Later, Kingston, with a knowing smile, proclaimed, "I won't kill you, let's play lightly. I don't want to have a bad taste in my mouth by stepping on such young sprouts." Now Huang was uninterested to fight Kingston, as he suddenly, with use of his power, levitates the dead bodies of the guards in air, as he surrounds himself with them, and with one flick the scene turned all bloodied, as he squashed all the bodies in a big lump of meat. He then confidently stated, "Shall we have some fun together?" As he launches his attack at Kingston, throwing all the meat balls at him, with high speed, Kingston stands there facing the danger, as he sees the attack coming, but as pro in martial arts, with only his hand, which moved with precision, as his hand goes for the first ball in front of his face, he catches the ball and maneuver its direction, and changes its path. Suddenly with quick movements from his hand, changes the path of all the meat balls, coming towards him, as his hands in rapid speed can't be seen by naked eyes. He dashes towards the balls, as he makes his final hand movements, retracts his hand for a jab. Now all the balls which were in front of him, were now behind him, as they all splattered in blood after the deflection from Kingston. Now the room got filled with a blood rain, as Huang still stands there uninterested, and Kingston smiles at him as his attack did not work at him. Now Kingston asks him as he thought of him as a telekinesis user. After attack his mind changed. He smiling further adds asking him, do he have any other attacks, while Huang simply states that he thought about it, seemingly bored, told Kingston. As expected. Playing with Grandpa will be boring, Kingston retorted. You're an arrogant little kid. He was irritated from his words. I've seen a lot of guys like you. Like a frog in a well, everyone thinks they're the strongest and are full of pride. As with his 1 foot, stepping on the ground, the whole ground breaks by his single foot force, making the debris scattered all over the room. As he in rage watches him through the falling debris, the prison was in utter disarray. The director, watching the destruction, could only think, while her subordinate cried out, "It will collapse like this." The head tells everyone that the prison consists of 20 layers of specialized wall, so it can't even be destroyed from first or second tier heroes. While Kingston is shown still in rage, he finished with a stern, "I'll fix that manner of yours." As he readies his body for an attack, leaning forwards and stepping back, as he lunges towards him in a quick motion, Huang just stands there in shock, seeing his attack coming for him. As the attack reaches closer, his eyes widens, in disbelief. Kingston was now in front of his eyes, going for a kick to his face, but as his foot just reaches Huang's head, he dodges, leaving the huge impact of the kick, leaving a shockwave in the whole prison, making all the walls tremble, while the head and her subordinates cover themselves on the ground, to not come under their aftermath, as so not affected by the sound. He continues his walk deeper into the prison, one door after another. Back at the control room, the initial 2 guards were still in shock. Asked, "Is everything okay?" The director, recovering slightly, asked, "Who won?" Director watches the screen while the man added, "It's not that." The scene shows that the attack from Kingston left a big hole in the 20-layered wall, while Huang also watches in disbelief, as one of the guards announced, "The walls are all breached." As she approaches the screen to see with her own eyes, got horrified to see what she thought was unbreakable, broke, she added, "We're screwed." Meanwhile, the light-haired young man observed Kingston's destructive path through the prison. "Whoa, it's like a human drill. How far did he go?" Kingston then provocatively asked, "Is this enough to make you interested?" When a voice questioned, "Should we follow him?" Suddenly Sinka and her subordinated comes from behind, asking, "What are you planning to do following such an old man?" As she smiles, crouching down on the floor adds, "Wouldn't it be much more fun to talk with me?" The director, perplexed, reacted with, "What?" As Huang in anger with wide purple eyes asked, "What are you?" The dark-haired woman with purple eyes blushing replied, "Let's talk and you'll find out who I am." In the control room, woman shouts, "How did that woman? How is she on the 5th basement floor?" Suddenly, the dark-haired woman with purple eyes announced, "But before that," her gaze fixed on the director and the guard. A giant projection of her face loomed over them, the onlookers. Out. As they stood facing the screen went out, not even able to control screen in their control room. The head got frustrated, slams her hand on the desk. Now so was shown standing beside the huge door, blocking his path further. His expression calm amidst the chaos, spoke. "Director, work on the 1st basement floor has been completed. Please open the door to the 2nd basement floor." As he gave the order, the director cried out, "Seo Kong Yu, hold on." As he stood there silently not moving, he was confused to hear the sound like that. Questions that was that even director, as the signal cuts off. He now stands silently thinking his next action, as he did not get help from director. He realizes the situation at hand. As he tries opening the door with his sheer strength, the door starts to open. A glowing orange light comes from behind. Now facing the room, he watches the floor in front of him with determined look on his face, as he walks down the stairs towards the second floor basement, thinking that unlike the first floor and the first floor basement, leaving the open door behind, where he smelled blood even before entering, opens another door blocking the patch. He realized there was no smell at all there. He got cautious. He watched the whole floor to notice something, but to his dismay it was clean, and not even a single body was seen, let alone a person. As he moves forward in the floor, a scream comes from somewhere, catching his attention. As he watches the place, a female prison officer, as she frantically tried to keep a monstrous, shadowy creature with glowing orange eyes and sharp teeth from getting close to her. "Don't come any closer," she shrieked, as her eyes fell upon Asio, shocked to see someone other than her there. "Asio Kang-ho," the female officer gasped. This even took Seo in shock. She screamed on top of her lungs, as the two dogs were going to launch an attack on her. But as Seo was there already, he easily kills them with one punch. While the female squints her eyes close, she watches in shock, as she saw the fallen body parts from the creatures. Seo Kang-yu looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Are you okay?" he asked. The female officer, now embracing him, cried out, "Kang-ho," hugging him as she cries. She began to bombard him with questions. "Aren't you supposed to be on the 5th basement floor? Did you actually have superpower?" He started, backing her off of him, then revealed, "I'm Kang-ho's younger brother." Watching him in her eyes directly, her eyes widened in disbelief. She stammered, "Hero Seo Kang-yu." She then looked down at his uniform. "Why are you wearing a prison officer's uniform?" he simply stated. "So you're my Hyung's colleague." He looked at her with a hint of concern. "It's dangerous here," he warned. She addressed him with a formal and somewhat chilling tone, "Young master," which took aback. Seo, confused, asks her, "Who are you?" Then, a slight smile gracing her lips. "It's our first time seeing each other, right?" She then introduced herself with a grin. "I'm your sister-in-law. You really do look like you're Hyung, you know?" Forwarding her hand, Seo was dumbfounded by that information, suddenly coming out of nowhere. The scene shifted to solitary confinement, 2nd basement floor. A voice called out, "Male!" As the golden hello comes into scene, another voice then stated, "Looks like a stranger has come." A response followed, "Yes, Appa." Question was asked from a shadowed figure. How many sins did the stranger who came this time commit? As the two figures were surrounded by the horde of man floating in air, with a hello on top. "He killed my dog." Unhappy from the stranger, while another figure, identified as Meal with blue eyes, smiled knowingly. "Is that so? Then it's clear. It will be hell." Jaya states further that, "I've only seen you through video or picture, so I'm quite surprised you look better in person." She then introduced herself. "I'm Hong Jaya, a prison guard, as a lookless prison commissioner." Seo, not believing her, responded, "I know you're his girlfriend, but I didn't hear anything about marriage." Jaya, a slight blush on her face, stammered. She then pointed to her stomach. "Here. There's your nephew in here." As she stand embarrassed, her colleague's reaction was stunned. His eyes widened, asking her, "What did you say?" Jaya continued, "You can't see it, right? I've been pregnant for less than a month." He remains silent for a moment as she continues to speak. "After this incident with Hwang Sungwon is over, I will tell you slowly." Their conversation shifted to the prison's crisis. Is that true?" He replied. "Yes, what's wrong?" he said. "Nothing." With a depressed look on his face, was not able to make eyes contact with her. Then Jaya spoke. "Why are you here? Are you here to suppress the riot?" He explained his new role. "I've been appointed as a special prison guard. I worked as an executioner for the prisoners in Lookless." Jaya was shocked to hear his words. Questions him, "You're an executioner? Why did you choose that?" She pressed. "Did the chief order you to do it?" he replied. "It seems like you don't have any information about it, so I'll explain to you briefly. Kang USSI mentioned an EMP attack?" "Who the hell did that?" Jaya exclaimed. "They're still investigating it," he stated. As now she got tensed, realizing that his brother also went to 5th floor basement for the execution, asks about him. Then, his face hardened as he spoke of Hyung, and the gravity of the situation became clear. A single tear escaping her eye as she heard his words, and a prolonged silence followed between them. Closing his eyes, hardening his heart, calms her down. There's someone who's sending rescue signals from the 5th floor basement, a hint of relief in her voice. What a relief! Kangyu SSI immediately responded. It's dangerous here, so go up. I'll escort you up. Jaya firmly interjected. No. If you want to go down, you'll need my help. Jaya revealed her unique ability. When I look at an object, I have the ability to read its memory. She quickly reassured him. Don't worry, I won't read yours. I wouldn't do it carelessly. Now his gaze hardened, in the face of danger. Challenged her. Then, what can you do for me with that ability? Jaya revealed the core of the problem. Currently in 2nd basement floor there are prisoners named Meal and Male. They are siblings. Their abilities are summoning trait and special trait. She elaborated. They have an ability to summon creatures, and when their creatures pierce someone's heart it can turn them into their puppet. Now everyone on the 2nd floor basement became Meal and Male's puppet. Understanding the implications, confirmed, I also know about their ability. Surprising her, because they're the disciples of that Mago, his comrade, who Allos died in battle alongside him, SEO states. I know that information, so please go up. Some of the combat puppets controlled by the siblings are prison guards, which made CO rethink his decision. Watches her silently. She then explained the critical issue. Puppets can't be distinguished between prisoners and prison guards, but if I read their memories, we can differentiate that. He questioned the point. Aren't they already dead? Jaya refuted. They're all alive. When those siblings release them, they can come back to their original state. There's no way they would release them. Jaya's eyes burned with determination. I can convince them. But he countered. With your state now, it's dangerous. Jaya, clutching her stomach, stated firmly. Before I'm a soon-to-be mother. Jaya states. I'm a prison guard. I have to do my duty as a prison guard. CO sees he brother reflection in her, as he was same as her. Quietly watches her remembering his brother. I see. And a powerful hand reached out. Not in friendship, but with a terrifying intent. A rush of dark, swirling energy engulfed the woman. She gasped. What is this? Lifting her up carefully in air, as she struggles to get a hold of the situation at hand, she asks him again, now in a well-protected shield, created from so ability. As he replied calmly, this is my ability. This will protect you from any dangerous situation, as she uttered. But I'm okay. As he moved forward down his path, yet, as she admitted, it feels strange. As they progressed through the floor, a sudden halt came in their way. It was people with golden hello on top of their head, stopping their path ahead. The woman within the sphere now appeared distressed. Jaya states that, it's Meal's ability. Because it's Meal's special ability, please also take note that there are many prison guards there. So it asks her to pinpoint the guards from them, as Jaya asks him to wait, closing her eyes, concentrates to use her ability. As her eyes glowed purple and her hair and cap floats, she observes the figures in front. Suddenly, pointing to the 2 hulking figures, those 2 guys at the back are prison guards. The woman within the sphere desperately cried out, First, let's calm down and take a look at the difference. As CO used his ability to make the sphere more denser with his energy, so that she can't see what he was going to do, Jaya retorts, I can't see. As CO with grim expression looks down, the sphere swirling behind him, as he gives her the answer of her question, telling that the difference between them and prison guards, as he lushes his energy out through the ground, surrounding the figures in back, only the prison guards, binding them on their place, so he can't harm them, as the one in forward comes dashing towards him, trying to hit him. But Seo was already ready for his attack. As he unleashed his attack, the guy's eyes widened, blowing his face with one punch, adding that the dead ones are prisoners. He gets ready for the next wave of the monsters, which comes running towards him, screaming, as Seo again with his single punch holds everyone back, sending them flying back. One figure gets surprised, as he saw Seo coming dashing towards them, kicking them on their face, killing them. So in rage, with widened eyes, dashes forward, killing all the prisoners with his power. As Jaya sits quietly, it was shown that he was being observed through a sphere, somewhere else in prison, which was the 2 sisters, watching him stunned, to kill their puppets easily, as one with grim look states to another, that this stranger looks stronger than our teacher, right? The young woman replied, I don't know, adding to her suspicion, or stronger than that woman. The first woman, still trapped, whimpered, I'm scared, but his sister offered a chilling comfort. Don't worry. They can't kill us recklessly. As they saw him in the orb, surrounded by prisoners and guards, with the hellos floating in air beside them, now so with the angry face, determined to kill all villains. To undo his ability, made Jaya vision back to her, as she was furious asks, "Why did you lock me up?" "Oh, did I surprise you? I should have told you in advance. I'm sorry." Jaya mind reeled. "What happened?" she asked him, only to be met with chilling news. "The prison guards have been quarantined for a while, and all the prisoners have been executed." Watches her with side look waiting for her opinion. Jaya gasped as she questions that the execution apparatus was on the 5th floor. "So how did he do that?" Seo replied calmly, telling he did him himself, disbelief warring with horror on Jaya's face, as she can't believe asks him again that he really executed them himself. "Is there a problem?" Jaya replied, "Whose idea is that?" "That's my idea," the red-eyed guard declared, a hint of madness in their eyes. "Did the chief agree?" Jaya stammered. "Yes," came the terse reply. Now both of them watches each other in silence, as Jaya was not able to accept the reality. "What are you thinking that's?" Jaya pleaded, as Seo watches her confused. "Are you okay?" she added. Seo replies her, "I just fulfilled my duties as a prison guard. Is there anything wrong with that?" Questioning her question, as she agrees, of course. It's not a prison guard's job to kill the prisoners. Their job is to edify them. Stating her belief in such a dire situation, cutting her in mid-sentence, Seo stops her as he was tired of hearing this idealistic stuff all the time. He remembered his comrade, telling him, "It's a hero's job to save." The red-eyed guard with depressed look. The result of pursuing such an ideal, I know it very well. As now he was determined, in rage as he states, "The prisoners here have claimed countless innocent lives." Adding, "Now, I think it doesn't matter anymore whether I'm a prison guard or a hero, and I just realized that I should have done this sooner. I should have just killed the ones who gave up on being a human. But they're human beings too," Jaya with bewildered expression tells him. So voice stops her again, leaned in, eyes blazing. "Are you actually suggesting that you want to say that they're humans? From the 2nd floor basement, they're criminals who have slaughtered hundreds or thousands of people. They deserved to die. But in the past, there was a lot of controversy about the existence of a death penalty, because many people died unfairly." Remembering his brother's death, he further questions her, however, "Since you have the psychometric ability, you must have been able to sense how they felt. You knew it too, right?" Jaya, now not with much counter, still says, "But they all have their own stories, especially for male and meal." Jaya added, so lastly states to end the fight, "Every soul in this world has a story. Do you think the victims don't have their own stories either?" And last but not least, Jaya watches in shock. "Does it really matter whether they are killed by me or are executed under the death penalty?" "But the death penalty is for individuals," Jaya protested, but the red-eyed guard stopped her. "Stop. Just stop it." Lifting his hand, as she didn't had any meaning to her words, "If you keep doing this, I'm going to send you up. And I'll solve this my way." Jaya realizes that Seo is already determined and will nor listen to her, as she also didn't know how to counter his words. Now they forwards their journey, deeper into the prison. They came across the red halos this time, with black figures with red core in their chest. So asks her, "Who are the prison guards?" Using her ability, she replies, "Those 3 people at the back." Seo understood as he gets ready for the attack. She was still unhappy from his decision as she watched him with depressed look, saying, "Kangho would be really sad if he found out." Making Seo stop in place, as his eyes widened, the figures approached him with killing intent, as holding the sword above him, ready to swing, as one of the figures swings at his neck, so not dodging stands there, as the figure stops in place. Seeing now the enraged version of Seo, who is irritated by her, still contemplating what she said to him, his eyes now in full fury, as he had lost his temper from her stupid beliefs, kicks the monster in the stomach as he thought, "You always talk big. I know you feel angry and frustrated." While throwing a punch at the monster, his eyes in blaze, consumed by his anger, surrounded by his own energy all over him, still thinking, "Admit it." As he remembers the comrade face who had same beliefs as Jaya, and hitting the monster in face, thinking of her, he also remembers his brother face, which make him more furious than ever, as he reached for the other monster, Jaya in shock to see, this side of Seo, while so lands a devastating attack on the monster, killing him, but others still lurking above him, going to attack him, while he still thinks, "Why won't you just admit it? Is it a fortune or a misfortune?" Making red orbs appear in air, using his energy as he announces, "Mode 5, everything got stopped around him, still in deep thought, the frustration that you carry on you. Release it by killing them. Energy pouring out from them, as he launches his final blow, throwing the orbs into the monsters, engulfing them with the red energy all over their body, and bursting them in the spot, killing them. The blood rain poured after the attack, as he looked above thinking, you should relieve it, even if just a bit. Standing in the rain. The scene shifts to someone watching SEO from afar. Through the portal, it was Sinka Nim, smiles to CCO in that rage, as her eyes widened in excitement, as her voice resonated through the chamber. He has become cooler, her subordinate standing behind. The time passes, with the same routine over and over again. Seo and Jaya finally come across the final hurdle, Jaya telling as usual, those are the 3 prison guards. Pointing to the 3 black figures with red halo, wait a minute, so stops in place, as he makes the sphere denser, his eyes watches something, which left in stunned, as the gate opens to the next place on its own, and 2 figures emerging from it, one with gold and one with red halo greeting him with, nice to meet you, stranger. It was Mail and Miles standing in front of them, while a huge hulking figure from behind opens the door for them, so excites as he says, I can't believe you're coming to see me on your own. So it'll be less bothersome for me. And greets them back, nice to meet you too.